Separation. Few words cut as deep. A phone that never rings. An empty chair at the table. A voice that once filled your days, now reduced to silence. Everyone knows this ache. The death of a loved one, the fracture of a friendship, the slow drift of two lives on different roads. And why does it pierce so sharply? Because we cling. We cling to voices that once comforted us, to routines that once gave us safety, to love that once felt like armor. And when those bonds are severed, it's not only the other we lose, it's the part of ourselves that lived with them. Centuries ago, a lone samurai wrote words that defy this instinct. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. These were the words of Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated swordsman who walked through duels, wars, and deaths. For him, separation was not tragedy. It was the natural order. The crow drinks from the pond, then flies on. The pond does not chase it. The crow does not look back. At first, such a principle feels impossible. How can anyone love and not ache when love is gone? But Musashi was not calling for stone hearts. He was calling for freedom, to love without chains, to remember without breaking, to release without despair. Every person who enters your life comes with a season. Spring's bloom, summer's steadiness, autumn's beauty, winter's harsh truths. No season lasts forever, but each one leaves you changed. Musashi's wisdom is this: when the season ends, bow in gratitude and move forward unshaken. And in our hyper-connected age, this lesson matters more than ever. We scroll through old chats, replay conversations, chain ourselves to ghosts of what was. Yet Musashi's challenge slices through the paralysis. Do not let sadness bind you. For sadness keeps your eyes on the closed door while new ones open behind you. This is not detachment from love, it is love purified, affection without ownership, closeness without fear. To walk through separations not broken but standing taller. To let endings refine you instead of ruin you. That is Musashi's gift, and that is where we begin. Philosophical approach. Understanding separation through wisdom. When Musashi wrote, "Never let yourself be saddened by a separation," he wasn't denying human emotion. He was pointing to a deeper truth about the nature of life itself. Separation is not an exception, it is the rule. Everything in the universe is in motion. People, relationships, seasons, even the cells in your body. Nothing stays. To cling is to fight reality. To accept is to flow with it. The Stoics spoke of this constantly. Epictetus told his students, "When you kiss your child, say to yourself, 'Tomorrow he may die.'" At first, this sounds brutally harsh, but his intention wasn't cruelty, it was preparation. By remembering the fragility of life, you do not take moments for granted, and when separation comes, you are not shattered. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Everything you love will perish, everything you cling to will be torn from you." But instead of despairing, he used that thought as fuel, to cherish what he had while it lasted, and to remain steady when it was gone. This is where philosophy steps in. Musashi's sword was sharp, but his mind was sharper. He understood that the one thing you always carry is yourself. People will walk beside you for parts of the journey, some for years, some for minutes, but no one walks with you forever. Even your closest ties will eventually loosen, through death, if not through distance. If you build your identity on them, then when they go, you crumble. But if you build your identity on inner discipline, then when they leave, you remain whole. The Cynics, especially Diogenes, took this even further. He lived with almost nothing, no home, no wealth, no attachments, because he believed freedom was the ability to lose without pain. To him, sadness at separation was proof that you had chained yourself to illusions. When Alexander the Great offered him anything in the world, Diogenes simply said, "Stand out of my sunlight." He wanted nothing from anyone. This radical detachment made him untouchable. No power, no person could control him. Now, this doesn't mean you must live in a barrel like Diogenes or renounce every bond like a monk. It means you must reframe what relationships are. They are gifts, not guarantees. The people in your life are not possessions. They are travelers on their own path who may walk with you for a while and then take another road. To expect permanence is to demand what life has never promised. Bushido, the way of the warrior, carried this same principle. A samurai lived every day as though it might be his last. Death was not a distant event, but a constant presence. This awareness created a strange paradox. Because he was always prepared to lose everything, he was free to love everything, to enjoy food, friends, and family deeply, but never so desperately that their loss would destroy him. His loyalty was fierce, but not blind. His love was deep, but not binding. He could weep, but he did not collapse. Separation then becomes a forge for the soul. It teaches you to distinguish between what is essential and what is temporary. Most people blur the two. They treat temporary bonds as eternal, and when they break, they mistake natural endings for cosmic betrayal. Philosophy reminds us, nothing has been stolen from you. It has only returned to the cycle it came from. Think of nature. A tree sheds its leaves in autumn. It does not mourn them. The pond lets the crow fly away without protest. The river carries water to the sea without clinging to every drop. This rhythm surrounds us daily, but we ignore it in our own lives. We cling where nature releases. We resist where nature accepts. Musashi, the Stoics, the Cynics, all point to the same law. If you resist separation, you break. If you accept it, you bend but remain whole. But philosophy is not meant to stay abstract. It must shape how you live, how you think, how you respond in the storm of loss. That is why Musashi phrased it as a command. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. It is not passive advice. It is an order to train your mind until it obeys. Sadness will come, yes, but it does not have to master you. With practice, you can let it visit without letting it conquer. So the philosophical foundation is clear. Separation is inevitable, and clinging is the real enemy, not loss itself. To walk Musashi's path, you must see people as gifts, not possessions. You must practice detachment without becoming heartless, and you must remind yourself again and again that the only constant in this world is the self you forge through discipline. Practical applications, training yourself for detachment without emptiness. Philosophy is powerful, but only if it is lived. Musashi, Marcus Aurelius, Diogenes, none of them became strong by reading alone. They practiced, they tested themselves, they trained their minds and bodies until resilience became second nature. If you want separation not to break you, you must do the same. Here are 8 structured practices, modern adaptations of ancient wisdom that will help you live Musashi's principle in daily life. 1. The impermanence drill. Every day, pick one item you enjoy, maybe a favorite cup, a shirt, a book. For a moment, imagine it breaking, burning, or being lost. Then remind yourself, if it leaves, I remain. This trains your mind to stop anchoring happiness in things you cannot control. After weeks, extend this drill to people. When with a loved one, remind yourself quietly, one day, this will end. Instead of making you cold, this makes you present. You stop wasting time on small annoyances because you see the fragility of the moment. 2. Controlled goodbyes. The Stoics often visualized losing loved ones to prepare for inevitable loss. You can modernize this with controlled goodbyes. Once a month, spend a day without contacting someone you normally rely on. No calls, no texts, no reassurance. Notice your discomfort. Then remind yourself, I can stand on my own. This teaches independence while strengthening gratitude when you reconnect. 3. The crow practice. At Musashi's metaphor, like a crow drinking from a pond and flying away, can be turned into a ritual. Next time you meet someone, a friend, a colleague, even a stranger, when the interaction ends, whisper to yourself, the crow has flown. This practice conditions your mind to see every connection as temporary. Instead of clinging, you learn to let moments complete themselves. 4. Anchor in routine, not in people. When people leave, chaos often follows because your life was unconsciously built around them. To prevent this, design daily anchors independent of anyone. A morning walk, a fixed workout, a meditation, or reading time. These habits become your constants, so when separation hits, You don't spiral into emptiness. You fall back on rhythm. A man with routine cannot be derailed by absence. 5. The emotional transmutation drill. Loss creates energy, sadness, anger, longing. Most waste this in self-pity. Instead, redirect it. The next time you feel separation sting, channel the energy into a task. Write, train, build, create. Tell yourself, this storm is fuel. Over time, your brain rewires. Pain no longer equals collapse. Pain equals production. Musashi did this in solitude, writing his wisdom instead of drowning in loneliness. You can do the same. 6. Practice chosen disconnection. We are addicted to constant contact. Messages, likes, validation. Once a week, cut yourself off for a few hours. Phone on airplane mode, no social media, no outside input. Just you and your thoughts. At first, it feels unbearable, but this is the forge of resilience. If you can handle chosen solitude, unchosen solitude will never destroy you. 7. Brotherhood without chains. The Stoics valued true friendship, but warned against dependency. Build 2 or 3 strong relationships where accountability is central. Workout partners, business allies, philosophical friends. But here's the key: never demand permanence. Every time you meet, treat it as if it could be the last. This paradox deepens bonds because you no longer waste energy on ownership. You value presence instead of permanence. 8. The separation simulation. Just as samurai trained with hunger and cold, you can simulate separation to test your strength. Once every few months, deliberately remove something or someone from your routine. Don't drink coffee for a week. Don't call a close friend for 3 days. Don't use a favorite item. Notice your cravings, your sadness. Then stand through it. These simulations inoculate you against real loss. When life takes something for good, you are already seasoned. The core lesson in practice: that these steps are not about becoming heartless, they are about becoming whole. Sadness at separation is natural, but collapse is optional. By training in small ways, controlled goodbyes, impermanence drills, chosen disconnection, you prepare yourself for the larger storms of life. You learn to love without clinging, to let go without despair, and to remain steady no matter who stays or who leaves. Musashi's principle is not telling you to stop caring. It is telling you to stop collapsing. Care deeply, love fully, but hold lightly, because everything you cling to will one day fly away like the crow from the pond, and when it does, you will still be standing forged unbroken. Conclusion: loving without chains, standing without crutches. Musashi's line, "Never let yourself be saddened by a separation," is not an invitation to become stone. It is a call to become unshakable, to love without chains, to remember without breaking, to give without clinging. Most people build their identity around possessions, partners, or routines. When life changes, as it always does, they collapse, mistaking loss for the end of themselves. Musashi, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus all pointed to the same truth. You cannot bind your soul to what you cannot control. If you love, love as if it could end tomorrow. If you hold, hold lightly, so you are not crushed when the hand opens. Separation is not tragedy, it is the law of life. Knowing this frees you from fear, and paradoxically makes you more loving. Because when you stop clinging, your affection becomes pure, no longer poisoned by the dread of losing. And when the moment ends, you bow, let go, and remain whole. This is not detachment that kills affection, but detachment that protects dignity. The difference between slavery and strength is this: needing someone to survive versus choosing someone to walk beside. Musashi's principle is an anchor. Train your body, sharpen your mind, deepen your spirit, and you will not fall when life separates you from people, things, or places. You will remain upright, like a mountain that endures the changing seasons, unmoved at its core. To live this way is hard, but it is the only way to be free, to stand without crutches, to walk without chains, to love without fear. So the next time someone leaves your life or something precious slips from your hands, remember Musashi's words: stand still, breathe, bow in gratitude. And then, like the crow rising from the pond, lift yourself and fly forward, not only unbroken, but stronger. You will not just survive separations, you will walk taller after them. That is Musashi's gift.